It is day 9, I believe. 160 push-ups today, and the 160 represents the 1 in 6 Australians that report feeling lonely. And I'm not surprised by that, because after COVID, those numbers, I'm sure, have gone up considerably. And being lonely back in tribal times, essentially, if you were a tribal member and you were exiled, that meant certain death. Because you can survive in a pack, you can survive in your tribe because you have each other's back, and everyone has a role and everyone's got something to do. But as soon as you were exiled, it was a very high chance you could likely survive. However, exile meant certain death. So feeling lonely sometimes can put us in that state, and we can feel alone. And when you feel alone, it is a horrible feeling. And you need help. You need someone to have you back. You need someone to essentially form a new tribe with. And today, that is important. So find people that you are able to get along with, find people that will push you, find people that will help you to grow, and find the right kind of people, because finding the wrong kind of people, you're better off being alone than finding the wrong kind of people in your life. So there's many different ways for us to connect these days, but finding the right people and finding the right sources, people that will help lift you, help you to grow, help you to inspire you, those are the people that we need to. So today I'm going to break my sets up. I don't know how many reps I'm going to do, but I'm going to go for it. Essentially, I'll start with 50 and then we'll work from there, but I'll smash out these 160. Oh, that's 50 to the knees. Keep pushing through. 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9. Oh, yep. Chest is definitely sore. Yeah. So I normally try and get out my 50, and then obviously dropping down to the knees is just kind of pushing past that point a little bit. You know, push it as far as I can, recruit as many muscle fibers as I can, and obviously on the toes, there's only so many you can do, and then you push through for a few more. I'm also not trying to push to the point of complete failure or complete exhaustion, because there's a lot of push-ups to get through over this next 20-ish days. So it's about also increasing recovery, stretching, making sure that I'm doing the right things. But back to the lonely factor, it's making sure that we can form part of the right groups, meet the right people, have the right kind of people in our life that will help lift us up. And sometimes it does mean that when you find a new group of people that help lift you, help you to grow, it doesn't mean that you need to leave people behind. It's just you're on a new path, you're finding something, you're finding the people that will help you grow, you're finding their community to help you, support you, and see you through, you know? And it's sometimes just you grow apart, and it's just making sure that the people that you grow with are there and they will have your back through. thick and thin, no matter what. Next set. 100 to go. I'm going to drop my hands back a little bit for this one. Get more of that lower chest. Oh, that's 30. Let's get out 10 more. 1, 2, 4, 6, 9. All right. If I've counted correctly, that should be 100, which means either 2 more sets of, I'll do 3 more sets of 20, give myself a break in between. I've got to stop with the ums. Also trying to use better communication, and that's also important. We communicate in many different ways: tone, words, and body language. Body language is probably one of the biggest things that we can communicate with. Our words, words, we use filler words. So as these series keep evolving and keep growing, I'm going to keep working on my communication, because that's something that I've had to learn over the years, and it's something that we can keep working on and keep developing on and keep growing in. The people that do speak clearly, the people that do great speeches, they're not great speeches just because they're great thinkers and just happens off the cuff. They've practiced this, and it's practice that's going to get us there. Practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes progress. And being able to practice over and over again will make us better. You know, if you look at some of the greatest in the world, their practice hours equated to much more than what game time did. So when it comes game time and it came time for them to perform, it was just in their body, it was just in their wiring, it was part of who they were, and they just performed and made it look simple. The ones who make it look so easy, it's just hours and hours and hours of practice in there. You know, so if you want to get better at something, practice, you know, and never quit. Some things you can change, but quitting is essentially giving up on yourself, giving up on the commitment, and giving up on the promise that you made yourself. So never give up, never quit, keep pushing through, and work until you can achieve that goal. Let's get to work. 20 push-ups. I think that was 25, but I'll have to check the footage again and count. If you're watching this and you're one of those people that's aiming for something in your life that's brand new to you, your family and your circle of friends, and they all tell you you're crazy and that it's not going to work and that you just should look for safety and you should look for security and you should do all of that stuff, there's going to be a lot of shoulds. But follow your dreams, whatever it is. Don't give up on it. I haven't given up on mine, but sometimes the road takes us in a different path. We need different lessons to learn before we come back to our goal. It doesn't mean that you've given up on it. It just means for the time being, there's things that are more important in this world. So don't give up on your goals. Don't give up on your dreams, especially if you're young and you have a lot of people telling you, look for safety, look for security, do this, do that. If you have a well thought out plan, if there's a strategy, have the mindset, have the attitude, have a purpose, work for it. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. You're going to make mistakes. And people are going to say, I told you so. You got it wrong. See, I told you. And generally, those are the ones that come from the people closest to you because they love you so much and they want to see you succeed. They want to see you win. And sometimes we listen to those voices and sometimes we give up. Not that we give up completely, but we let the light out. We give up internally. And we just choose comfort. We choose to just give in. We choose to settle. Never settle. And don't drop your standards unless it's a standard that's set so high that you can barely set foot in that direction. That's the only time you need to drop your standards. You drop your standards so that you're able to hit your first target, but then you raise that standard. So there has to be that primary goal, the big dream, and then you have to have this low standard. So those little ones are like the little steps that keep building and keep building and keep building and keep building. And they're going to eventually get you up to here. But as soon as you almost hit this goal here, there's a whole nother level. And that's fine. They're the mile markers. If you're running a marathon, no matter what you're doing, like reps, counting reps, they're just mile markers, Speaking of mile markers, I got my next 20. I'm pretty sure those are my reps, and I'm going to stop it there today. I'm not doing any extras because my chest is sore and I need to give it some time to rest and recover. But I hope you enjoyed my tips, motivation, inspiration. If you took one thing away, great. If no one's listening to this and no one's seen these videos before, great. It's just a journal to myself to hold me accountable for my future. And also, if my kids ever get to watch this, use the information, use the experience, and learn from me, learn what you could do better. Because if there's one man in the world that wants you to do better than me, that's me. As your father, if you two boys are watching this, or great-grandkids, or anyone who's watching this, if there's one man in the world that wants you to do better than me, it's me. Okay? Push yourselves, train hard, work hard, challenge yourselves, look for growth, and don't let anyone stop you from getting to where you need to be. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves. See you next time.